other folks, Alicia here. All right, I'm excited and terrified by the idea of this video, but I am jumping right into it and we're gonna see how it goes. So, a lot of times I'll have folks come to me and they will tell me, super excited that they have decided to do a running streak. And when I hear those words, sometimes I shudder a little bit, and because I'm nervous about them getting injured, not listening to their body, or ending up hating running instead of loving it. But I realized it's a little bit hypocritical because I have never actually tried a running streak. And so in order to be able to comment on it, and beyond that, to be able to help and coach others who maybe want to try and do a running streak safely and healthfully, I should probably give it a go at some point. So, you can probably see this coming. I am going to give it a try. I am going to do 30 days, and based on the Association of Run Streaking in America, which I'll put their name here, a run streak at the minimum is 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile a day for 30 days. But I do want to make sure I don't fall into the biggest trap that I see when people do running streaks, and that's running into injury and running through injury in a way that doesn't serve them long term. If I've checked off my goal of running for 30 days in a row, but now I have Achilles problems that are so bad that I need to take multiple months off running, I can see how that goal would set me back in the long term. The only thing left to do is to go run. This is future Alicia here. Let's take a look at how my running streak went. It started strong. Days 1 through 4 felt pretty good. It even led to me having some good experiences I wouldn't have had otherwise. Hey y'all, Alicia here. So I'm about to go for my run right now on day 5. And if it wasn't for this running streak thing, I would not be going on a run right now because it's day 2, 1.5 of my period, and I do not feel good. I just want to crawl into bed. I do know that low intensity aerobic activity makes me feel better when I have really bad cramps, but that doesn't mean I want to do it. And so, well, let's see how this run goes, but I thought it might be important to include the moments when this challenge is getting me to run when I don't necessarily feel like it. So off we go. Let's see how it feels. Well, my cramps feel better. There's gorgeous fall colors out. I don't know what those means. But I am glad I had running on the menu today. I ended up doing about 6K instead of my mile minimum, and I'm feeling really good. Today, on day 5, I'm glad I'm doing this running streak. Everything went pretty good from days 5 through day 10. I even went on a hiking trip, and on the hiking trip, I would do a run from base camp to get my mile in each day. So this is the last day of that. Day 10, came back from a hike-bike combo trip, getting out for a jog. Gonna do the bare minimum tonight. Day 14. That became a trend. Day 14, hair down, late at night, on the treadmill, but I'm doing it with cool down to follow. This is when I should have taken some rest, and I probably should have stopped this running streak. I went out for my last long run before tapering for my next 50K, and I had to cut it short from a 30K, which is what I had planned, gentle, simple, easy 30K, to 20K, because I felt like I was falling asleep while running. My pace was really slow, and I went home and I slept for 8 hours. I then got up and had dinner, and then I slept a full night. I was exhausted, but I kept going and I kept doing my mile per day. Day number 17, standing up tonight. I'm just immensely. I was trying to keep these jogs really slow, but what I found was it wasn't my energy systems, it wasn't my heart or my lungs that slowed me down. I just felt tired still. And I think part of it was overcoming whatever the sickness was. Day number 17. I'm doing it late at night with the buddy. Day 19. This is 2 days before my ultra. Treadmill warm up. Then we got to the Grizzly. And at the Grizzly, the wheels fell off. There's no other way to describe it. This was a 50K race. It was my second one within a month, which is huge for me. I've never done that many 50s that close together, 2 50s so close together. And I had a race plan. I was gonna start out at a 5-minute, 30-second kilometer. I was gonna do that for the first 2 legs, which was the first 25K-ish. Then I knew it was a really hilly section, so I was planning to stay on a 7-minute per kilometer pace because there was a lot of elevation. And then I was gonna lay that hammer down and really charge the last 2 legs. And what happened instead was that 5.5-minute per kilometer pace, which would have been very easy for me going into the first ultra, felt so incredibly hard for me. And it got to the point where then in the third one, the really hilly one, I pushed to try and stay on target. And I just couldn't. My body would not go any faster. Every joint hurt, every muscle hurt, everything hurt. And this was despite ample nutrition. This was despite, the only variable that was different here was that I had been doing these mile a day and I hadn't fully recovered from my last race. So I came over the line, very similar 50K a month earlier. I did in 4 hours and 45 minutes-ish. And then this ultra, which had 200 meters extra elevation, which isn't nothing, but is pretty close to nothing when you're used to doing a lot of vert with your runs. I came in an hour. It took me an hour and a bit longer. I came in like 5 hours and 50-some minutes. And the last leg is a little embarrassing, but I was just basically crying while I ran all of it. So that was a new low for me emotionally. But despite that, and with the support of my hubby who was there, and friends that were there, I did still come across the line. I still got her done. I still finished it, but it felt absolutely awful. And despite that, I decided to still day after the Grizzly, and although I'm running quite slow, I think it is good to do a recovery run today. So then I kept running. I kept the kilometers, the miles stayed slow, but I still did them until I kind of got to this point that we're going to talk about now. Hey guys, Alicia here. Hopefully you can hear this over the treadmill. I'm on day, I don't know. Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Whew. I am on day 27 of this running streak. And it's been awful the last few days, to be honest with you. The day after my 50 was okay, to be honest. I just had my husband drop me off and I ran in the streets of Calgary to get that time done. My pace has dropped. I'm kind of surviving. I'm not leaning in. I know I'm not making actual changes to my body. I'm just trying to hold on until Sunday so this whole thing can be over, to be honest with you. This week and last week have been awful. Forgot about 3 different appointments and let some clients down. I just really want a rest day, just want to stop. So I'm not sure. I'm only 4 days from the end of this challenge, so does that mean I just hold on out so I can say I did it? I don't know, I should have done this running challenge a different time. I shouldn't have done it so that I was doing it between 2 50K races. That was stupid. I feel like it hampered my recovery from the first 50. I feel like it hurt my second race. My resting heart rate still isn't recovered. So my resting heart rate's about 12 beats to 20 beats elevated from when it was what it was before the Lost Soul, which was my first 50 this fall. And just in general, to be honest, I didn't think a mile a day would be a big deal. Like, I'm running 50Ks, who cares about 1,600 Yeah, my meters?
mileage in June, July, and August was between 200 and 300 kilometers per month. And this month, including the run streak, is only 100 kilometers. So we're talking a third of what my mileage was when I was training intelligently and having rest days. This is where I'm at mentally.
So it makes me feel like I'm not tough enough, resilient enough, and just not good enough. Because I can't handle a mile a day for 30 days. So that's how I feel right now. And I'm gonna try and, I don't know, I just need to think, should I finish this for 4 more days? It's only 4 days. It's only 4 miles. Or should I cut it off? I don't know what to do. Okay. I guess I'll keep you in the loop with whatever I decide. There we go. This week's mile, or today's mile, over 10 minutes. I don't feel like it was hard energy system wise, but my body just doesn't want to go right now. So that's where I'm at. But stretching, recovery, I'll feel good.
So the snapshot of where I was at, my resting heart rate was elevated at this day, about 20 beats over what my resting had been settled at before my last ultra. I had an overall sense of fatigue in every muscle in a way that I haven't felt it before, generally inflamed, and still didn't feel recovered from my ultra 5 days earlier.
So I decided to walk this challenge in. Now, you could say that that's me not completing the challenge, but I said at the beginning of this that I wanted to finish my 30-day running streak healthy. And with that elevated resting heart rate that I had, I didn't feel like I was staying true to that if I kept running. So, as hard as it was for my ego to not run in these last 3 days, I decided to walk it in. So I finished the distance, but I did not run for the last 3 days. I'm still feeling pretty tired, you can probably tell, but I'm happy with the decision that I made. And I think I learned a lot from this challenge, even if I didn't run for all 30 days. So to save you some time, if you're planning on doing a running streak, I'm gonna let you know a couple of the things that I learned. The first is, do not plan a running streak if you are training for something else, particularly if you're in the middle of your quote unquote competitive or racing series. I was 5 days post my first 50K, or I was 5 days post one of my 50Ks when I started this running streak. And to be honest, I wasn't fully recovered when I started the streak itself. And then 22 days into this challenge, I had another 50K race, and it went very poorly. I think because I wasn't recovered from that first race because of all the running that I had been doing. So if I was to do a running streak again, I would do it when I had no races anywhere near the challenge, and I'd do it when my training was maybe a little less structured in the sort of general prep time of the season instead of mid-competition. The second thing that I would suggest is to give yourself some hard boundaries. For me, it was if my resting heart rate was elevated, for a continued amount of time. And the other thing was if I was starting to feel an injury that felt worse after training. Now, luckily, structurally, I felt great during this challenge. There wasn't any one specific joint or tissue that gave me problems, but that elevated resting heart rate was something that was warning me that there might be injuries around the corner, which is why I decided to call it quits. The third tip I'd suggest if you want to do a running streak is to make sure you keep that warm up and cool down as a constant part of your runs. So a run for me did not count, including these walks, unless I did my 4-minute structured warm up and a 6-minute structured cool down. I kept those the same for the whole month just to keep things simple, and I actually think that was a good idea. So if you're gonna do your own running streak, get yourself a warm-up protocol, get yourself a cool-down protocol, and stick to it. Now, thank you so much for coming along on my running streak journey with me. I hope you learned something from this video. I would love to hear your tips and tricks for running continuously. So if you got some of those for me, or if you have successfully been doing a running streak for a long time, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I hope you have a wilder day. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already, so you get a notification if I do try to do this running streak again. All right, have a wilder week, and we'll talk to you guys soon.